Welcome, viewers and cherished members of this community Kingdom Health and Care Foundation. This is a community that is under construction, I would say, because we've just started, but what lies ahead is very intriguing. It's very exciting, even to me as your host and chief steward. We are taking up a topic today, but I want to remind you that this foundation, this platform has been raised up for you and your family. Do you have any problem in life? Is life sloppy? Is your aspiration dying down? I want you to be ready to be fired up again. Be ready to be rekindled. Your career will not be also forgotten. Your career prospects will not be neglected. And remember that help is our heart desire. Care is our core mission. Uplifting kingdom citizens anytime, anywhere is what we desire by the grace of God. And we are motivated by what? Love. The love of Christ is our motivation in all that we are doing, and Christ himself is the foundation in all we do. So please, let's prepare for more exciting sharing during this time, during the time together, and don't forget to invite others to come and see what God has started doing, because we have received freely and we are giving freely by the grace of God. So today I'm taking up this topic, theme that I think it should be of interest to every one of us, because it's a common knowledge that we all are living in the same world and we are passing through the same situation. We are talking about the use of our days, and I have entitled this sharing, Avoiding a Fatal Miscalculation. What is that miscalculation? It borders on how we see the days that we have on hand today. You know, normally we see it in life. You don't lavish or spend lavishly what you have in short supply. That's exactly how we should treat the remaining time we have on earth. It is a commodity rather. It is a commodity that is in short supply. It's non-renewable. So we should handle it in that perspective. It is wise to manage scarce commodity carefully. I remember an instance in the past when I was young, during the civil war in my country. When we were under economic blockade, we were left struggling to find essential items. One of the scarcest commodities at that time was salt. And I recall how we handled even a pinch of salt at that time with great care because of its scarcity. So it should be so with our days. Now, let me ask this question, pointed question. How many days do you think you have left? The way we live our lives often reflect the answer we subconsciously give to this critical question. Many of us go about our life as if we have a seemingly endless supply of days, what I would call, or what I have called, a fatal miscalculation. We don't have endless supply of days. The days are very limited. To how many? This truth hit me hard just a few days ago when I started meditating on it. And as I usually say, most of the things I share on this platform are personal experiences, things I have lived out and or I'm actually living now. When I got the insight on this issue, I rushed to my wife to share it with her, because it was a sobering realization to me that if I am to make the best use of my time I have left on earth, I must handle every fraction of it with intention and care, because I realize that I have only one day at a time. I don't have 2 days. Because after sharing this with my wife, I said that I need to pass it on to those of us who are now our friends in this community. So Think about it. Our time is parceled out in days and hours. Since we don't know how many are left, every single day should be lived as though it is our last. In other words, we only have one day because, properly speaking, we can't live tomorrow. Tomorrow has not come. Yesterday has gone. So the only active day we have to live is just today. So that's the proper perspective we should look at the time we have on earth, because it's only that one day that we have, today that we have. Let's consider two biblical examples to drive this point home. I took two examples from the Bible. One is in Acts chapter 12. We know what happened there. That was concerning King Herod. We know him, the man who imprisoned Peter, and before Peter escaped. But this time around, it was a national day activity. There was going to be a national gathering, and he was to give a public address. He dressed up that day in his royal apparel to deliver a grand speech. He had no idea it would be his last day on earth. I think if he knew that, perhaps Herod might have spent his last time that day preparing for eternity, but he didn't do so. Instead, he gloried in human applause, only to face divine judgment shortly after. We know an angel of God, the Bible tells us, struck him dead right there before the public. And before even the undertakers, those who take charge of burial, could come and gather his body, the body had already been consumed by worms. In fact, he was not even fit for ordinary burial, not to talk of royal burial. That's why that man went. What about the rich fool in Luke chapter 12? This prosperous landowner spent his final night in a boardroom meeting planning on expansion projects of his warehouse, because that year was a year of bumper harvest. He has viewed it in the warehouse was filled to overflowing. There was not enough place to gather his goods. So he spent that day perhaps with architect and others, and they planned to far in the night how he was going to expand the building project, to expand the construction of new warehouse. But he was completely unaware that his soul will be required of him that very night. That's what the Bible tells us. What a tragic error. His misplaced priority earned him an eternal badge of shame. Because if we go there, what badge is he wearing? The Bible says, thou fool. That is the badge he's wearing in eternity now and forever. Because he did not know that he was spending his last day. If he had known, he should have prepared. Thus, we should learn from all this and count every day as our last day and get ready. These examples underscore the danger of assuming we have more time than we actually do. So what can we do to avoid this fatal miscalculation? It's just to realize that we don't have a seemingly endless supply of days. The days we have are limited. Today may be our last day, and we should start preparing. How do we plan and how do we walk wisely in the light of this reality? How do we plan? How do we walk? I'm reminded of the words of a wise man, which I read somewhere. He said, learn as if you will live forever and live as if you will die tomorrow. What a word of wisdom. The second part of that wisdom aligns perfectly with our thoughts here. I prayed and asked God to help me to view my remaining days as a scarce commodity, one I can only access one piece at a time. Out of that prayer, I framed these guiding thoughts, which I'm going to share very briefly now. Like I have said, when I get some ideas, some thoughts, which is profitable to me, I like to share it with this platform. So please note some of the things I have noted here. Take note of them and see how you can use them. Number one is, I said, engage in work that the Lord would be pleased to find me doing, should He come on that day. A work, an activity that my heart will not tremble when the Lord finds me doing it. A work I'll be doing, I will not regret. Something that I know that the Lord can come that day and meet me doing it. That's what I should be doing. Anything outside that, no. I will meticulously, wisely avoid it. Number two, focus on tasks I ought to be doing at the time that the Lord calls me home. Yes, because the Lord can call me home before He comes. What should I be doing? I should focus on that. Any task that it doesn't align with this parameter, no, I'll put it by the side. Number three is avoid actions today that could harm tomorrow by assuming there would be time to repair them later. No, that's a wrong assumption. To assume that I will do something today, I know that it's wrong, or maybe secretly, nobody seeing me, I say later on I will repair it. No, I don't have tomorrow. You don't have tomorrow to repair anything. It's better not to dabble into such action. It's better not to do it. Refrain from it, because you don't have tomorrow to repair it. That's one of the things I've learned, and I'm learning to right now. Anything I'm doing, I will make sure that it's not something I will say later, I will make restitution or I will repay. No. I put it by the side and avoid it. It's better to keep my conscience clear. Number four is seize opportunities to help someone whenever I can without delay. Yes, opportunity will come every day to share, to help somebody physically, spiritually, in prayer, or materially. When that opportunity comes, I should seize it, because I do not know whether I may have that opportunity again. In fact, in the way we live, my wife, and sometimes she'll come to ask me, hey, Daddy, I want to give something to somebody. I say, if it is given, don't even ask me, just give, because I know we may not have the opportunity to give to that person again. And I know that it's what we give out that is really what we have, because they will eventually come back to us. So opportunity to give should be seized any moment it comes. Do I share with you secretly that it is one of the reasons that God impressed it upon our heart to set up this foundation, this channel? It's opportunity to give, because I have received so much from the Lord all my life, and I don't have enough time to even give out all I have to give. That's why this foundation is existing today, to opportunity to give. So when you have it, don't miss it, don't postpone it, don't say later on, except what you cannot do. But if it's what you can do, seize it and do it right away. Number 5 is avoid spending any part of my day on matters that won't count in eternity. Very important. Things that do not matter in eternity. Things that we just go, like sports, like politics. I remember when I was younger, I was a sports fanatic. I can spend hours, days, a lot of time on sports and all that. But as I grew up, as I become involved in the work of God, I prayed God to help me so that I will not be wasted. It's not that it's sin, but it doesn't count in eternity. And if I waste my time, I will use to pray. I will use to do some essential things that we can't eternity. I will use it for those things. And I think it's a wrong use of my day, because I have only one day, 24 hours. I have sleeping hours of 6 or 5 hours, remaining about 18 or 17 or 19 hours of waking hour. Well, why should I be so short for the things I need to do for that day? So I shouldn't waste it on things that would matter in eternity. Number 6, settle any debts or obligations without postponing them to another day. This is very important, not to carry debt. I mean, personal debt, maybe borrow money from somebody, then I say later on I will pay. No, it's better I settle my debts. I don't want to carry debt and leave, because the Lord can call me. I'm not talking about people who are in business, because your business is apart, you are apart. If you go, the business, they will settle the debt where they have invested the money. I'm being careful about this area. But personal debt, to borrow money to eat or do something, personal something, and then I'll be owing somebody a debt hanging on my head overnight. It's not wise. So please, let's manage that area also. Number 7 is ensure I am at peace with all men before the day ends. That's very important. The Bible also gives us injunction, as much as light with you, live peaceably with all men. As much as light, there are some people who are troublemakers. We're not counting on them. We will do our own part. We make sure that we don't offend people and keep that offense till the next day. We can march on trample on somebody's leg. Of course, no true believer aiming for heaven will deliberately march on people's toe or trample on people or offend people. But mistakenly, something happens. Settle it that day and make sure you are at peace. If you have offended, go back and settle the person before you sleep. Call the person on phone and say, excuse me, the way I spoke to you or something. Settle it so that our conscience will be pure and clear, because we don't know whether we will see the next day. Very important, living at peace with all men. Number 8, use every hour of the day for something profitable and meaningful. This may sum up all that we have been saying. Every hour of the day, what am I doing? What am I occupying in? Is it meaningful? Is it profitable? Is it adding value to my life? Because I have only one life and I have only one day to live. So let whatever I'm doing, I will scrutinize, I will manage, I will look at it critically before I engage, before I stay on anything. If we should be as strict as that, because we don't have much time and there's so much to do. I believe that if we do all this by the grace of God, our days will be more meaningfully used. Actually, some of these resolutions or what we have put down may sound lofty or too ambitious for some of us, or even unattainable, but we can leave them in the hands of God, trusting Him to help us strive for wiser and more intentional use of our time, even if it looks a bit too ambitious. Like I said, I shared it with us. I'm challenged myself, as you are being challenged, so that we can all move better and have a more profitable and more intentionally profitable existence here on earth. We have so much to do for the Lord, and we have so much to live also for the people who have come in behind. So by now, I just thank the Lord for this sharing, and looking back, some of us may see that we may have, in some way or the other, we wasted our time in the past. We don't need to condemn ourselves. We shouldn't dwell on the past failures. Instead, let's forget what is behind and embrace what lies ahead with hope and determination. I believe God that He will back us up as we prove out what we are doing. May our remaining days be spent joyfully, fruitfully, and with purpose. Yours in the service, in this platform, the Chief Steward. God bless you.